in Russia, which says a drone has been shot down by its air defences over central Moscow early on Friday. Witnesses say a loud explosion was heard across the area. The city's mayor said that the debris fell in the area of a large exhibition space, which is less than 5 kilometers from the Kremlin. There are no reports of casualties. The Russian Defense Ministry has said that Ukraine was behind the attack. We will try to get our correspondent on the line in the coming minutes to get the latest on that. Meanwhile, in Hawaii, where Maui has been dealing with the aftermath of devastating wildfires, the island's emergency management chief has resigned, citing health concerns. Herman Andea had been criticised for his handling of the disaster and for defending the fact that Maui's emergency sirens were not used to alert people about the oncoming danger of the blaze. Meanwhile, the search for victims continues. At least 111 people are now confirmed dead. Crews are searching some 2,000 burnt businesses and homes, but the job is not yet even 50% complete. While the exact cause of the wildfires is being investigated, mounting evidence shows downed power lines could have played a role. Our correspondent Sophie Long has been on the ground in Maui following the latest.
Ever since this tragedy happened and we started to learn about the loss of life, we've heard from people who escaped that night and how they had no warnings. Everyone has demanded to know why they didn't get more warning. They knew that a fire was burning, they knew that there were very high gusts of wind, and yet Maui has a very good outdoor alert system, and those sirens were not used. They're in place to alert people to wildfires and tsunamis mainly, and those sirens were not sounded on the day. Instead, we heard harrowing tales from survivors as they fled with heat burning their back. Now, yesterday, on Wednesday, the head of Maui's emergency management agency defended the decision not to sound those sirens. He said that people could have gone Mauka. Now, Mauka is a Hawaiian directional term. It means into the mountains or inland. He was implying that people may have been panicked and gone in the wrong direction. Well, you'll find very few people here in Maui who will agree with that. The search and recovery effort is still ongoing. The search and recovery teams have now recovered 111 bodies. Only 6 of those have been identified, so it's still in its early phases, really. A mobile morgue has arrived in Maui with extra coroners to help with the painstaking task of identifying those who lost their lives. The investigation into exactly how the fire started is ongoing, but as soon as it happened, really, there were lots of criticism of the main power company here in Maui, and people say that the power lines should have been preemptively shut off. Now, that didn't happen. There is a class lawsuit that's been launched alleging that the power company is responsible, therefore, for loss of life. But the investigation into how the fire started is ongoing, as is an investigation into the emergency management agency's handling of the fires once they've started. So I think there's lots of speculation as to exactly how they started, but certainly the power lines is one line of investigation.
Sophie Long in Hawaii for us there. Let's return to our top story this hour now and reports of a drone strike on Moscow. We can go to our reporter joining us from Ukraine's capital, Kiev, James Waterhouse. James, good morning. What more do we know?
Well, we're going on what the Russian Defense Ministry is saying at this stage. There's a lot of unverified footage swirling around, appearing to show a unmanned drone with a propeller engine, the sound of it echoing through Moscow's streets, and then there was an explosion, it appeared, with smoke billowing into the air. What we're told by the city's mayor is that an events venue was hit. There were no casualties, but we've seen that Ukraine certainly has the capability to send drones hundreds of miles into Russia. What the Kremlin has done is squarely blame Ukraine, and what Ukraine will almost certainly do is deny all responsibility, but they will use boastful language, shall we say. They've suggested in the past that the war is coming to Russia's doorstep, and I don't think, if it was indeed Ukraine that launched these drones, I don't think the aim is to cause massive damage. It's in fact to put psychological pressure on the Russian population, in effect by bringing the war to their doorstep, but also on the Kremlin itself in trying to reassure its people that things are okay. But it's important not to draw false comparisons here, where, for example, yesterday here in Kiev, there are 3 or 4 sirens throughout the afternoon when Russian jets took off. It's often a method used to launch missiles across Ukraine. We're seeing more of these drone attacks inside Russia. You wonder what Ukraine's Western allies will make of this war continuing to spread inside Russia. But we are talking about individual small drone attacks.
James Waterhouse, our correspondent in Ukraine. James, for now, thank you very much.